Items have been around on Roblox since 2007 as a way to express yourself with a ton of variety in hat designs. But over the years, hundreds of accessories have been created, with some of them being more popular than others. So then, what are some of the most rarest accessories on Roblox? Let's start off with tradable items. As on the 5th of October 2009, the first limited item would come out, that being called the green bow tie for 100 Robux with 100 stock. This is quite rare due to its low stock amount, like items like the eggs from newer egg hunts having supply in the millions, but this is only scratching the surface of tradable rare items. Rarity can also be changed, like take for instance this item, Tasteful Top Hat. It had 350 stock, but now no more than 62 copies are left. The reason being, 288 copies of the item were hoarded up upon its release by a notorious hoarder called Billy Loans, who had hoards in other items as well. This one was the most famous, as the account he put him under, Renewable, ended up getting terminated, making this item become a rare and scarce because of its lack of stock. The same can be applied to another item that is very rare, called Dark Assassin, which was created on the 1st of April 2012. This date will become a recurring theme for some items later on. The item originally had 21 copies, but 8, 12, 15, 16 and 21 are missing due to probably getting deleted by the owner of the item, and then some just got terminated owning the item, making less copies circulated, then merely owning 8 copies out of a stock, leaving just 3 owners excluding him. That being Stickmaster Luke, who is an admin for Roblox, then son of Sevenless, who is Shedletsky's many alts, and Eversaw, which is an alt of Modovex. By looking at one of the groups the account is in, seeming to suggest that is the case. If you like the look of this hat, you can pick it up in a bundle called Darkest Assassin for 800 Robux. The only real difference is in the texture, with the package version looking more finished, as the limited one is missing some texture on the front of the mask, and that is about it. But we can go lower than this. How about Bling Boy's Raiment? Having just 11 copies, but only 5 remain. That being Merrily, Stickmaster Luke, Golly Greg, Talism Guy and Blue Talism, with the last 3 having this since it's released, as how they got it was by working on the Roblox TV advert in 2011, and this was their reward for helping out. Yes, this is also the same advert SharpTH made a video about, it being full of false advertisements. The only downside to this item is that it is exactly the same as another limited called Robling, with the exact mesh and texture, with the only real difference being is in the position, with Robling more suited towards the standard R6 body and Bling Boy's Raiment more fitting towards Robloxian 2.0 package. We can still go lower with a joint tie between 2 items, the first being Wanwood Crown with 3 copies, with Arcade Rockstar 7387 and the_red having the last tradable copies of this item, which this item had 10 stock originally, given to the winners of the Worlds of Wood building contest, who were Den_S, Sinister Alex, Underworld Ruler, Have Me, Undertaker 49, Dark Rye 980, Zshako Blah, Lego Skull, Trifan 212 and Ansonator. The final original owner of this item was Ansonator, but on the 25th of April 2020 they got hacked and then later terminated, leaving no original owners of this item left. But 2 original owners, Den_S and Dark Rye 980, still own the consolation prize for Helm of the Great Tree, which is a really cool item as well. Then there's Eccentric Shop Teacher, being in the same boat with the same amount of copies left, that being 3 with 10 stock originally. The current owners of this item are Merrily, son of Sevenless and Linkmon99. and how you got this item was by an event called Superheroes Skull Building Contest, with this being the top prize you can get by getting a score over 1,900 from building a place around the description the admins gave on the event. Only 10 people got a score high enough to get this reward, and they were... No! Kobe was here, Bloxer Badge 1197, Jerry G225, Famous John, Craver, Wow This 3, Shadow 4008, Luigi Master, and Chris Dog 96, who was the only person who kept this item till they got banned. The rest have either sold it off or traded it at some point after it was made limited, to the point where there are no original owners of this item anymore. But there is one limited that has just one copy, and that is Ultra Commando, which was created by the Make-A-Wish system for Ultra_Go, and well, I'll let their words tell you the story behind this item, as it's really interesting and different from the other Make-A-Wish items released. During my visit at Roblox HQ, they told me during lunch that they were surprising me with my own custom item that they were going to help me design. So after lunch, we go into this room and meet with one of the lead artists and designers, who asked me which items I was the most interested in, outside of Dominus, since those were special occasions. I was not particularly interested in trading or anything, but my main interest was clanning, so they suggested the Commando series, and I thought it was cool as well. So they incorporated my favourite colours, black and red, and drew up a quick sketch which was pretty accurate to how it came out, and that's how the item came to be. As for it becoming limited, that was actually a dare from one of my friends at the time. We were just talking one night and one of them was asking if I could make it a limited and if I wanted to, and I said yes, but they didn't believe me. I like being right, so I messaged, I think, Pterosaurus, who was a Roblox admin I met, and asked her if she was able to do it. I woke up 2 days later to 500 trade requests and an email saying, okay, done. There are more Make-A-Wish items like this, but this is the only one that was ever limited, with the others being off-sale items, which will be talked about later on. While that is the rarest tradable limited, there are some unobtainable ones that can never leave the person's inventory for one reason or another, with items such as Lolzard and Leopard Fedora that had a bugged limited release, but have had a re-upload so more people could obtain these items. Then there's Peppermint Top Hat and Dark Knight that never saw a re-release and were obtained via an API vulnerability that allowed people to obtain the item for free by brute forcing it to purchase both items. But then there's Orange Trance, a face item that has only 4 owners, with the others having more than 10. For some reason or another, this item on launch broke, meaning no one could obtain it unless you happened to be on mobile and exploited, or used a script to brute force it to buy it for 25 Robux, similar to how Peppermint Top Hat was obtained and Dark Knight. The 4 owners of this item are Taraska, Jack4788, Jacob610912, and Volyax, all having serialist copies, as this and other items are limited U and supposed to have copies marked with a number, but that in and of itself can break sometimes, like take for instance the Disgraced Baroness of the Federation. It was supposed to have 100 copies for a price of 50k, but there are 236 that exist, even with duplicated serial numbers like 99 and 100, with people after the first 100 getting this item for free, with the original buyers demanding Roblox to refund their purchase because of it. How about off-sale items? Just meaning they have never been put back on sale after either being timed on sale or just randomly taken off as a result of not selling much, with items such as Optical Invasion having just 191 owners. Yeah, I can see why this didn't sell much or become popular, as it is very ugly. Same can be applied to another item called Worshipper of Ichkel, being able to purchase for 250 Robux and having 210 copies sold. It went off sale on the 3rd of August 2013 probably for the same reason of just not doing well and also being kinda ugly. I do like the idea behind this hat, it's just not my style. But the items could also sell fairly low due to the amount the item cost. Like take for instance ACI White costing 6,000 Robux with it only having 360 people purchasing this item. It went off sale at an unknown time, probably due to the fact it resembled a Gundam helmet, but we'll never know. Another item in the same boat was Dusekkar, which you could have got for 10,000 Robux or 20,000 and got this free as well as another item. Only 304 copies of this item exist, with the most being admins due to them getting the expensive present for free and Matt Dusek getting a custom fire particle on this hat as it's a reference to them and only activates on their account. You may think to yourself, how can these be rare as they have a few hundred copies, which is a valid argument until you factor how many counts are on Roblox, which has surpassed 6 billion on the platform. But you're right, let's get to some rarer items. To start off, how about an item called Birdman, which costed 340 Robux in 2010, then later going off sale. Only 131 people had purchased this item, which was quite surprising as this item also had an advertisement on the webpage promoting it and it only managed to sell this much. I mean, to its discredit, it is rather unappealing, but I know someone who is rather fond of this item who also helped me out with the list of rare off-sale items, so shout out to the Birdman himself, appreciate it. Remember when I said the 1st of April 2012 will return? Well, here it is again with 2 more items that were uploaded on that day by people who hacked into the website. The first being Cyclops Eye, later changed to All Seeing Eye, which costed 666 Robux and was on a timer for 2 days, only selling 76 times. I mean, for what you're paying for, it's really overpriced and extremely small, but it has made it a quite the rare item. Then there's Explosive Hair, which was made months prior to its release, costing 69 Robux with only 69 copies being sold. The hair itself is very large but done to resemble Johnny Test from Cartoon Network, and honestly if I had known about this item I would have bought it as it is really funny looking and how large it is compared to other hairs is insane. Moving away from the April Fool's hack, we have Rockstar from the future with a price point of 500 Robux, but only managed to sell 89 times before it went off sale. Not much else is known about this item other than it has a cool reference to David Bowie, a famous developer now do the Harlem Shake, who made the normal elevator and shadow boxing wears this hat. And there is also a red version of this hat, which was a gift card item for curries called Rockstar from the Farther Future. Yeah, that one also is very rare, with it being redeemed 54 times before the month ended, making it in both cases a very rare item to own. Then there's a face item called Gold Face, which came out in November 2009. Not to be confused with Golden Face, that is a limited, but rather this item. It has 68 owners before it went off sale at an unknown date. And honestly, I don't know why it's sold low, as it's a pretty cool mask referencing Lego Bionicle's Kanohi Hao, which I'm hopefully pronouncing that right, as that mask has a really awesome design and kinda looks like this one. This next one came from an event with the item in question called Awesome Ring of Olympia, which came out from the Roblox Olympics building contest in 2008 in support of the Olympics in Beijing. This item came out in a set of 5 different colours, but this one is the rarest with 64 owners of the item due to the fact it was the hardest to get, with your place getting over 100 favourites, which had to be specifically called this to be a part of the event. But you could have got this by paying for the item, which only would have cost you 2,000 Robux. 40 of those owners got this item for free due to meeting the threshold to obtain this item, and the other 24, well, they paid for this, which I think is a lot for this item, even though I think this is probably the best in the set. But the lowest item I know of is Lengthy Haired Hero with just 55 owners, with it going off sale between September 2010 and October 2012. This item before going off sale could have been purchased for 120 Robux, which isn't too bad of a price, but as items go, this is really ugly, and what makes matters worse is when you check the texture, there was going to be a weird looking face onto it, which honestly wouldn't help the item at all, and I think it would have made the item even worse than it already is. Now this is the usual low point you would find with most rare off sale items. Unless you want to take into account Make-A-Wish items, then it can go down to 1, as that item is specific to that person due to going to Roblox or having a virtual tour in person and then being asked if they want their own item and how they want it to look on Roblox. With the first one being the diamond hat for Diamond Pistol 25, they got a fedora with some antlers sticking out, kind of like how the Dusekkar looks but on a fedora. Then we have Sinister Valk for Emerald_Ite, which was a modified version of the festive sword Valkyrie, in terms of some parts being more pronounced on the front and the sides, and changed to an Overseer theme as per the request of Emerald_Ite. Then we have Hallows Valk, which was made for Honoured Tiger, which again is like a modified version of festive sword Valkyrie, and Valiant Valk, with added detail on the side of the hat. And what's interesting is that this hat has a PBR texture, physics based rendering. That just means like how it would look in game, like you can add a shiny effect on top or make it more pop with a bit of grain that adds a lot more detail to the hat. Then to top it off, it has a trail effect and a fire effect that emits when it's worn, and stars as well. Then we have two Dominuses, both being made in a similar time, with the first one being called Azure Light for the Mind Gamer, with it having a nice blue steel look with a white skeptic face on the front, and when worn the eyes glow up, giving it this nice ominous look when paired with a blank cover, and purple smoke effect on the wing area. Lastly there's Desperationist for Avery Bird Person, with this design using blue steel as a basis, then adding more metallic features like panels with cyan screws and two vent looking things, which kind of makes it look like a bird when looking at it from a side view. Other than that, it has again particle effects but around the buttons to make it pop. I should also mention Dominus Frigidus, as it was made by Sephi Cakes as of a part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, where this item will be created from their opportunity to do so. I would also like to cover the admin exclusive hats, but I'll save those for another video, as most of them had scripts that would do special things, so stay tuned for that in another video at some point in the future. There was one admin hat that was given out a fair bit, and that was the Black Iron Crown of Ponage, which one of the owners, Cooper, got it for winning the sword fighting tournament called Grand Melee that Roblox hosted, as it was the main prize for coming in first place, as well as another user called Poker_Man29 who got it for being the first to have 10,000 knockouts on their profile. The same can also be applied to a series of fedoras called Boss Whites, which each hat had a unique sparkle effect, and the way you got one of these was by reporting a bug that was severe enough that would have harmed Roblox in some form of way, and as a thank you for not abusing it. Most people would have only got one of the Boss White hats, or even up to the third one, but two users on the platform have the entire set. The first being Modded, who is a well-known exploit finder on Roblox and a former Roblox intern who had even their own custom hat made called Modded's Hat of Illumination that costed 5,000 Robux. And then Neurokoi, who doesn't have much information on them other than that they were a former Roblox intern at one point by looking at the groups they're in. Finally, to wrap up this video, the final category of items out of the three are gift card items, which are essentially a free item you would get for purchasing a gift card from a retailer of your choice, with different retailers having different items. These would lead to some places being more popular than others, or some places being very rare for completely different reasons. Let's start off with one of the most famous gift card items, with the first being Bright World Bandit, with it being only redeemed once by a Roblox admin called Action Shakespeare, who was known for being a rare gift card item collector. The way you would have obtained this item is by going to FYE between August to September 2015 and redeeming a gift card. Now I'm going to assume some reasons as to why this didn't do well, and that is either due to the chain never sold enough cards, or never had enough stock, or it wasn't a popular place to pick up said gift cards. If you want this item, you can pick it up on the catalogue, as there is a red version called Desert World Bandit. It's literally the same thing, but with the only changes being in the texture, being changed to blue and altered a bit in some parts to make it look a lot more cleaner. Then the same case happened again with Bright Green Plaid Cap being another FYE gift card item that could have been acquired between June to July 2015, and again it only has one owner, and the person who owns this is called Nervikal, confirmed by RBLX.trade to be the only owner of this item, and doesn't look to have any ties to Roblox whatsoever. There is another version of this hat in red that was originally 10 ticks, but with the removal of ticks, this item never came back on sale as a cheap item to get off the catalogue, and it has been off sale since the 14th of April 2016. And again, another FYE card item, medium sized Bad Wolf, but this time it had 3 redeemed copies with 2 confirmed owners, being Matthew 174 and ZapX1 from being logged on RBLX.trade's database, and the other owner is still unknown. This item could have been obtained between September to October 2015, and after that year, FYE would stop selling cards due to it doing so poorly and none of them were getting redeemed. If you want a similar item like this, there is Dark Wolf. That is a limited item you can pick up if you're into trading, as it will hold some value. If not, you can also get an item called Woven Foot Soldier, which can be purchased off the catalogue for a relatively decent price. Finally, to wrap this up, we have 2 newer gift card items, with the first being Snow Crow, with it just having 6 owners, with it being able to be redeemed from Aldi from December 2023 to January 2024. And the reason why this is rare is due to a few factors, the main one being you just don't see gift cards sold at Aldi often. Quite frankly, I have never seen any in the store. And the second, from what I've heard, the gift cards are bugged and don't work, so you have to contact Roblox support to even redeem the items in question, which one of the owners of the item have told me. At that point, it's easier just not to bother and just buy the Shoulder Crow, as it's a way better looking item and fairly cheap to get as well if it fits your sort of style. To finish this up, we have another Aldi item, the Fall Gingerbread Man Scarf, with it just having 2 owners, Insane's Hain and Insane Aristocrat. Due to the reasons mentioned above, this item never sold as much and could only be redeemed between November to December 2023, and again, even though it is a very rare item, you can pick it up a very similar colourway for very cheap called Gingerbread Man Scarf. If you like the look of this item and want something similar, that is still obtainable on the marketplace. At the end of the day, items having a low amount of sales can be a cool thing, as a way to stand out in a crowd of people wearing the same fits, like those horns that produce fire and then an emo fit, and look like a clone of each other in some form of way, so having these rare obscure items helps you stand out in a crowd of clone troopers all looking the same. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. If you have any other video ideas, let me know down in the comments, as I do read every comment I see. Check out my Discord server, as I'm trying to build a community over there. Check out my join page if you wish to support the content I make, and with that being said, I'll see you some other time.